Hello, everybody. This is Ronnie. I'm coming to you with a video today that a lot of people have asked me how have I done on this. And if you guys have not remembered, about 6 or so weeks ago, we came across a huge lot of vintage Oakland, LA Raider hats. They were from the 90s. Most of them, well, actually all of them were from the 90s. Looked like somebody dropped their collection off at the thrift store, and I just happened to be at the right place, right time, was able to buy them all. Didn't really care about condition. We got it done. So out of those hats, we spent $120 on 29 hats, and we've sold them so far. We've have $906 in sales. We currently have some listed. I forgot exactly how many. We sold 15 hats, I believe. And we have, well, we'll talk about it. We'll look at the numbers, and because I can't remember exactly how many we sold and how many we still got listed. But we haven't sold any in a month, so I kind of overlooking them. We may change prices on them, start again the listings to get more views. So let's get into this and talk about it a little bit more in depth. So we're going to go here, and here we are. Here's the ones we sold, and they sold fairly quickly for the most part, and we'll go over each one a little more specifically. Two of them were offered to buyers and they never paid, so you'll see two hats that are doubled here. I can't get exactly how many, but we'll start here and just look real quick. You can see right here we sold, and you can see the dates: 22, 22, 23, 23, 23. You can see the same hat here sold, and then basically they told me they didn't want it, so I relisted it again. It was kind of one of these, I didn't buy that hat. It's like, yeah, you did. You can see these sold fairly regularly, and then they slowed down here. And we'll get into these caps a little bit more one-on-one and just show you a little bit more of what kind of to look for, how they sold, because not all hats are created equal. Not all teams are created equal. Some teams do better than others. We're talking probably about one of the more storied franchises at that time, or hats anyway. Oakland Raiders, because of NWA, because of the Boys in the Hood movie, these hats were in demand. That's the era of, hip hop, Dr. Dre, and all that kind of stuff. So Ice Cube. So these hats have a command. A lot of these hats went overseas and stuff like that. So, like we said, not all of them are going to do entirely well like that. All right, so we're going to start off with, I have no idea how this goes, but I'm going to start off with this one right here. This is a vintage script style hat. You can see right here. It's missing the little thing on the top of the hat there. And this one took a little bit longer to sell probably. This one took about 18 days to sell, and we took a best offer of $60. If it didn't have that issue, it probably would have sold for a little bit more. You can see most of these hats were clean, but there were some hats that we had issues. Sports Specialty is a good brand to look for, but they still make hats to this day, and they are coming out with snapbacks, and they're coming out with similar styles. I think you can go to Marshalls and TJ Maxx, and I've seen them have hats recently coming out in the old styles, and it's kind of pretty interesting that they would do this. So next bunch of hats to look at here, and some of these got ridiculous amounts of views like you wouldn't believe. This is the highest dollar amount we got for any of them. This is the Oakland Los Angeles. I put both in the titles. A few of these I even forgot to put Snapback in the title. This is made by American. Has a shield on the front and it has the shield on the side, which later on I found out that was a big thing. Had the block letters along the back, and that was a big thing to have there also. And you can see snapback hats is because the snapback thing in there, where you'd have adjustable by the snaps. This was the American Needle hat. You can see right here the tag. It was a wool hat. This one, like I said, sold for $195, and it took 8 days to sell. And this hat in those 8 days did get 325 views. So pretty interesting on that one. You need a little better view. This is a snapback cap right here that I have just to show you. So, and a lot of snapbacks will have a green underbrim if they're vintage, but that's not true to senses because a lot of these hats were remade by New Era, now American Needles putting out snapbacks again. So it's, unless you're from that era and you do a little studying, I think people they'll see this video and they'll jump right out and buy everything, and then they don't do the studying that goes in with it. So it would be like me seeing somebody sell a vintage, no, not a vintage, but like a Funko Pop for $200, and I go out and buy every Funko Pop because I think they're worth $200. And that happens because people don't want to put in the time or the research. They see something, but they don't comprehend it. That's a big thing. You got to study sometimes, boys and girls. Got to study. Here's the first one we sold. This one, no, this is not the first one we sold. This is a hat sold for $40. It had 2 issues on it. This is a vintage starter one. As you can, it was like a wool, but you can see there was 2 holes on the side of the cap. This cap would have probably went for about double. It was a starter brand. Starter before you found this in Walmart and stuff like that in the 90s, 80s. This was a hot sports brand, and a lot of people used it. A lot of people wore it. Kind of, you know, not the coolest thing anymore, as you can see, as they do sell this at Walmart. But the vintage stuff people still want. This hat sold within 5 days, and it had 588 views. So it goes to show you the interest that this did have, and it's always a good thing. Bringing interest, bringing people into your store is always a good thing. A few of these hats sold extremely fast, and eventually we'll get to some of those. This is a vintage hat right here. This is like a denim stonewash style. You see right here, and this hat sold actually a lot better than I thought. I had no idea the brand here is. It's just stonewash denim by Universal. I didn't have any idea. Universal looks, you know, I tried to look up some of these, couldn't find anything on it, and just put it up $50 because we sold one a few days before that for good money pretty quickly. This sold within minutes of putting it up. I think I only had like 3 views. This sold like within a minute. So did I price it too low? Did I just find the right person looking for it? I have no idea. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. That's for sure. But it's sold, and that's what it's all about. Selling something is the best thing you can do. Now, this is a vintage. This is a hat. We had 2 similar styles here. One is the Thrill. You can see right here, it has a little shield on the side, has the strip style in the front. This is like a cotton cap, really light, really clean. The Thrill by Sports Specialty, that's what it was called. These are like almost summer caps. They're very light. But this one sold for $56. Took 4 days to sell, and it had 544 views. So this one sold extremely quick. Again, a lot of hats I was looking at the time. I kind of priced these up a little bit because they do run sales and stuff like that a little bit higher than what a lot of these were selling for. So a lot of these sold at the time pretty much near the top of what they were selling for, which was pretty interesting. So we're going to get into this one. Here's one right here. Once again, this was the first vintage one I sold. It was a starter. I didn't see really any of these selling for that well a price. And once again, this one sold within minutes of, no, this one sold in 2 days and it had 511 views on this hat. And you can see right there, once again, it's like a denim stonewashed style. Los Angeles Raiders has a little shield in the front, has the starter symbol on the back. Decent looking hat. A lot of these hats look basically unused. Some of them did have staining and stuff like that. Not really sure just how they were kept. But let me see here. So the hats were, doing pretty well here. This is another one right here. Another one to look out for. This is a very popular cap. This is called the Arch. Has Raiders in the front, and it's kind of like an arch style. It's a wool cap. And that's it, kind of, in a way. Here we go, bigger picture. Starter symbol on the back. It's pretty clean underneath. Starter made in the Dominican Republic. Oh, my plátanos. What's up? So it's a good thing. And this one sold for $120, and it took 3 days to sell. So you can see on these hats, a lot of them sold fairly quickly. These were not sitting around too long. And we'll go over the ones that are sitting around shortly. But for the most part, these did not stick around at all. And then right here, we had this hat right here. This is a similar one to the other. But this one had a little bit of like a staining on top here. I don't know what it was. One size fits all. This hat is like a more heavier material, almost probably like a wool. I want to say, it didn't say what it was made of. A little bit more heavier of a material. You can see right here, I put very good condition, does have a few light spots, may clean up. This hat sold for, this hat sold within a few minutes for full price. So, hey, did I price it too low? Did I not? It had issues. I was happy to get what I got for it. And it sold pretty quickly, which is always a good thing. I'm always happy with that. Here was another hat right here. This is so far the longest one that we've had listed. I mean, there's going to be a few hats that take longer to sell than this, but this was listed for 15 days. This had well over 1,200 views in those 15 days. This is an American Needle cap, and it has like a blockhead style on the sides of the hat. It has the shield in the middle. One side's black, one side's gray. You guys, if you're from my era, in your late 30s, early 40s, you probably remember these style caps. There's the American Needle right there, wool. And this one sold, I took a best offer on this one of $45, I believe. Oh, no, $50. No. $50 I took on this hat. $50, make a holla. So we're looking at the hats here. So we're getting to another one here. We're getting down to the bottom. This one was new with tags, but it did have some issues with the material here. Once again, there's a little bit light staining on this hat. This hat was kind of ugly, to tell you the truth. I mean, this hat doesn't do anything for me, being this like white color with the shield in the front. And this one actually does say Oakland, and it has the starter symbol in the back. I don't know when they exactly. You can see right there the light dirt on it. That may clean up, may not. I didn't try to clean these up. I don't know exactly when the Raiders moved from LA to Oakland. I could probably ask Google, but she'll probably give me an answer that takes way too long. Hey, Google, when did the Oakland Raiders move from LA?
1982. Here's a summary from the website.
No, that's good. Google off.
The Raiders' first home game in Los Angeles was at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum against the San Diego Chargers on November 22nd, 1982.
Okay.
To find out
off.
More, look for the link in your Google Home or
Google off. Cállate. Go on you. So those are the caps. I guess 1982. I thought it would have been probably in the 90s. Who knew? This was the first cap we sold. This is a vintage, and this is called diamond shape. You can see from the diamonds like all over the place here. It's a style of cap called the diamond. This had a little bit of dirt on top. You can see right there again, spots on it. This is a Logo Athletic, another brand that does make some vintage snapbacks that are desirable. And you can see right here, this sold for $50. And this sold within minutes of putting it up. Like it had 3 views. This probably sold within a minute. As I was listing the hats, boom, it sold. So always a good thing when hats sell quick. Anything sells quick for that matter. I'll take anything that sells quick, like anything. Oh, we already showed this one. Get to a different hat. And then we have this one right here. This is another American Needle hat. This sold in 6 days for $40, as you can see right there. This style, I didn't think was all going to do that well. Because it's kind of ugly to me, to tell you the truth. That Raider style kind of looks like almost like Tomb Raider or something style writing. I don't know. Remember a game like that, or maybe it was the movie. But American Needle, really, this hat, I was surprised what it did. But somebody wanted it, and that's a good thing. Then what hats that we had here that were like somewhat like just a lot of these hats were damaged, not really worth selling in selling separately. These sold for $80. I took an offer of $85, and it took 2 days to sell. And you can see right here, a lot of these had issues, even though some of them were newer tags. You can see some of these hats had issues. As the 2 in the front have issues, 3 of these hats have issues. See if there's close-up pictures better. You can look from the top here. 2 of the hats on the right, the bottoms, both had issues. The one hat in the middle on the bottom, kind of, you can see, looks very discolored. You can see right there, that one definitely had some, on that white mark right there, it does have some issues. A lot of these hats had issues, actually, so I didn't show all of them probably in the pictures. Kind of like this one's dirty as you know what. This one, you can see the discoloration between the bill and between the hat itself. This one was dirty. That was a nice cap. So I kind of just threw these all in together just to lot them up and move them on. And then we have the hats that have not sold so far that I'm probably going to reprice after this. and move them on down the road. See, I probably priced them too high. Some of them I tried to overlook today, and there was some definitely, some issues with, not issues, but I could probably reprice some of these. Some of these have a bunch of watches on them too. So, like this one right here, this is an Apex cap. You can see right here, Apex, and maybe it's just not the brand. This one I have a bunch of watchers on, and currently it's at $32. I'm probably going to lower this a few dollars and see if we can move it on. But it's over 1,200 views already, and it was listed on the 26th of December. So it does get some views, but it's just not doing anything. Then there's this Nutmeg Mills one. This one really just hasn't. It's a plaid style, or I may even keep these hats at a good price because they are moving to Las Vegas. So maybe there's an interest in these hats going forward. This one's in really good condition, but it's like a plaid style. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's that great. This hat could probably come down in price maybe. This is a starter cap right here. I'm going to see what these have sold for, but this pinstripe has the shield in the front. I may have it priced right, just haven't found the right buyer for it. This one is probably priced too high. This is a brand that has the, where the hell is the thing come up? Amico. I've done okay with these vintage caps, but I haven't done all that well with them in general. They're not seem to be as desirable. And we have another Nutmeg Mills. See right there, it's by American Needle, and just doesn't seem to be all that popular. Has the shield on the front. I mean, it says NFL on the front, Raiders. I just don't think it's all that great. And then we have this one right here, vintage starter. With the shield in the front, I thought this one would have did probably a little bit better. Starter, this is a starter cap once again. And then we have this vintage. This is an early snapback. I've seen a few of these sell in the $50, $60 range, but we do have a little bit of a hole in this one, so we'll see what happens. But this is a vintage new era cap, so we'll see how it goes. But those are the ones I need to move here. And that's it. So that's how we turn $120 so far into 106. There's probably between $200 and $300 of those caps left. Hopefully we can move them out here fairly soon. Maybe when Tom Brady signs with the Las Vegas Raiders, the hats will come in a little bit better price. Maybe I should hold off because it could happen. But like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.